Hello and welcome to India Post Live, India's first online news discussion portal. Today we'll be talking about technology, in specific Twitch TV, and the recent news of how Google wants to buy it and acquire it for over $1 billion. Of course, that hasn't happened. Joining me in the studio today, we have Gaurav, who's a tech blogger, and we have Ishan, who is the founder of Just Another Gaming Site. And joining us on Skype, we've got Archishman, and we've got Ritesh, who are also avid gamers and techies. Right, guys. So the news about Twitch TV, it's been big. It's set the internet on fire. Until recently, we just found out that actually it's the fourth largest during peak internet hours. It accounts for the fourth largest source of traffic on the internet. This is a fact that a lot of people perhaps won't really know until today. Why is that? How is gaming so big and we don't realize it?
Well, gaming is a community that likes to stick to itself, and the mainstream audiences have recognized it but haven't really embraced it yet. Like Google and YouTube have their own massive audience, but a lot of them still don't know about gaming or Twitch. And I think this is their attempt to break into those audiences and just take over.
Because the thing that we hear a lot is that, let's say gaming doesn't really have, unless you're a gamer, it's very hard to describe how fun games are, what games are all about. And I suppose that's also, there's no mainstream or big coverage of getting people to relate to gaming. Is that because they don't have a face? Let's say there's no George Clooney to interview, there's only some 12-year-old kid with acne, right? Is that a huge factor, or is it something more than that why gaming doesn't get as big an exposure to the market that is not gaming?
Well, not certainly of a celebrity involvement. That is a matter. It's more of an outreach, right? For example, right now, Twitch is not probably as famous as a Candy Crush Saga. Candy Crush Saga is probably a more famous game, as in in the larger market, right? So it's probably, for what kind of games are you looking at, for what kind of people. So yes, something like Candy Crush Saga would be very popular among the mass media, right? So that's probably the factor.
So it's essentially Twitch TV, guys, it's a portal where people can upload their live streaming games from their consoles and Xbox One. It's all been, and PS4, it's been integrated into all these systems. EA I think have licenses for it, Ubisoft if I'm not mistaken. Why? I mean, what kind of games do people most like to watch on Twitch? Let's say, what's the most popular? Let's say either genre or specific game.
So Twitch's popularity is mainly with esports, Dota, League of Legends, and all the massive international events, competitive events. They're all broadcast live, including even the local events. But apart from esports events, a lot of gamers who are famous YouTube personalities just live stream their games, promoting new games or just their experiences with new launches. So, and all that is used to, you needed extra hardware and then route it through your PC earlier, but now it's been integrated into the PS4 and Xbox One, and you can always directly Twitch stream through your PC. So,
right, guys, on Nitansh has also joined us on Hangout. Hi. Nitansh, I'll just start with you. Do you use Twitch TV yourself?
Yeah, I have watched a few videos when other gamers are playing the game. So it's really nice to know the game, how you can play a certain stage, or if you want to buy a game, you can first see whether it's according to your interest or not.
Is there?
That's how.
Sorry, is there like are there like famous gamers that you follow on Twitch as well?
So there is one called Trump SC. So that person, even Mashable profile that person. So these persons, what they do, they have made live streaming their own living style. So they, from morning to evening, they start playing a certain game and they tell you tricks about playing it and how they can cross a certain stage and that way. And the best part about live streaming a game is, as such, you don't find a game playing very interesting, but added to a person comments that he makes it funny or he makes it somewhat interesting.
So it's the
You
user,
connect to that person.
it's the user base essentially that gives Twitch its real authenticity. It's for gamers by gamers, and that is, I think, one of the things that I've been reading on the internet, that the fans themselves are not really happy with the news that Google wants to acquire them. In fact, the hashtag RIP Twitch went viral minutes after the news came out. As a gamer, why?
Well, the first thing probably which came to everybody's mind is when Google buys it, you're probably going to have G+ shoved down your throat at every turn. Sign up with G+ to comment or to interact with the stream. That's the one thing Twitch has, that the live comment section is, you've got, say, a few thousand, 100,000 people all chatting together. And that's the perfect base for Google to push G+ even more.
Right, but then, I mean, G+ is obviously, it's a huge network as well, and it's a massive company, Google, if not the biggest. So, I mean, why still is it a fear of taking away what the gamers essentially want in Twitch TV, putting in place these Google structures that, let's call it corporate for a lack of a better word? Is it more like that?
No, not for. While you're saying that Google Plus is a big platform, it's actually a forced down to your throat strategy that Google is, getting with each Google Plus, position that they are playing it, whether Hangout, whether, their chats and, everything. And this is something that, what might happen with Twitch as well. And Twitch is essentially a place where, the passionate people are coming down and, trying to stay in the community. And gamers are very inclined to stay in their own close community, around the same kind of people. With Google Plus coming in and, you need to go through a system, that's something that really won't.
Right. Archishman, I'm just going to bring you in on Skype. Can you hear me, buddy?
You were talking. You wanted to know why the gaming community is
please.
aggrieved over Google acquiring Twitch. It's because, see, what most people fear is that the Google or YouTube content ID claim might make it into Twitch as well.
Right.
Now, what that does is that it will flag a lot of gaming videos for copyright infringement and essentially make them non-viable and shut down channels for a lot of people. This has been a big problem on YouTube recently when they upgraded their content ID and copyright laws. So is that even big YouTubers who've been partnered with YouTube since like forever had their videos flagged for random reasons. And the major problem with that happening is that if you've watched gaming live streams, most of them like to use music in the background, and music in games is something that the company itself buys rights from the publisher of the music or the artist themselves. And if you don't have the rights for that specific piece of music, your video will get flagged most likely. So that adds to a lot of hassle because YouTube content ID works in
So essentially, it takes away from those videos that you watch, those replays that you watch of your favorite gamers or your favorite games, having just that little extra feel of what makes it authentic and what the gamers want. They want to put that hardcore rock song behind their replay of Call of Duty or whatever. That's what they love. Twitch TV is a spin-off rather of Justin TV, which also is known for also running a lot of copyright content, such as shows and stuff. Twitch then later went on to buy them. Can you just talk us through how that happened, how it started, and then how it went, and then how it developed into this?
So
behemoth?
Twitch basically, when Justin.tv started, after that, they broke it down into several categories, of which gaming was one, and that grew faster than anything else they had. At that point, they started Twitch.tv on its own as a subsidiary of Justin.tv, and recently Twitch actually absorbed Justin.tv itself.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Proof is in the pudding right there. Gaming is big. Vishnu Das, can I bring you in? Ritesh, can we get you? Yeah? Did you see this? So they did this experiment with Twitch Plays Pokemon, the classic the game from Nintendo. where they did it based on, guys, basically what they did is they had like a live chat thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, guys. They had the live chat where all the users came in, something like 17 million users overall came in, and through what they were chatting about, their commands were translated in the game. So essentially, a lot of people were playing that one game to complete it. Did you follow the progress of that, or perhaps take part in that? Or how is that? Explain how, because it's very difficult for non-gamers to sort of relate to how 17 million can play the same game at the same time, and it can still be interesting. What's unique about that for you, besides the numbers?
Right. Well, we've already talked about numbers, Twitch being this fourth largest platform of internet traffic. Now, if I also talk about numbers again, the international is going on right now. It's a Dota Championship, right? Just the prize money for that is $6 million right now.
Wow.
That's how much the users have contributed. So that's actually a fund that has been generated by gamers, along with sponsors as well. Now, if you talk about the last year's finals for Dota 2, that's there for the Asians that you were talking about a bit earlier. It was watched live on Twitch by 35 million users. Now, that's, I guess I actually read it somewhere, that's the entire population of New York. Imagine that.
Fantastic.
35 million people watching the final, live, being streamed. Now, I did not really follow that one, the Pokemon one, but then again, this actually brings us to the reason why Google wants to acquire it. Now, Google has been trying to push live streaming for quite a long time now, as we all know. Twitch offers them that opportunity, gives them that opportunity. Twitch is actually famous for live streaming. That's what it is. It gives you access to 45 million unique users every month. Now, I'll tell you, we as gamers, we are die-hard fanatics. Right? Once we, let's say, embrace a brand, we stick with it. Once we embrace a game, we stick with it. And I guess Gaurav over there would agree with me as well.
It's the thing. If you've played FIFA or Pro Evo, if you've played either one, you dedicate to it. The man is completely right. I'll vouch for that. Let's go to the gaming in India in general. What about trying to be a Twitch user from here? We were discussing this before the show rolled. Is our connections on the whole? Does it work over here? Is it possible for us to use it?
It's a difficult thing. I mean, it's changing very fast. A year, 2 years down the line, you're not really seeing 10 Mbps coming down, but players are coming in the market. Beam in Bangalore, Nextra in NCR region, where you are seeing high speeds coming in. For example, I mean, in Dharamshala, I was staying in Dharamshala up in Himachal, and I was using a 10 Mbps leaf line by a provider with a very steep rate, very cheap rate. I mean, if you can get something like that in Dharamshala, I don't think so. That's very far. It would not be a problem in in coming years, till the time it reaches to the point. Now, having said that, the kind of community which is already there, for the gaming community.
This is the Indian gaming community.
The Indian gaming community. I think that they have already solved that problem, largely, either one way or other, right? Where they've, multiple connections, streaming into one, and multiple routers, done all that.
So there's no excuses anymore just because
Right.
Fantastic. I wanted to get into the discussion of gaming in general. Ashishman, I'll bring you in actually, because you obviously are a very passionate gamer. There you go. There's the smile. Right. So for you, do you actually use Twitch TV yourself? Have you ever uploaded anything yourself, or
No.
do you know of anyone in India who has a following over here?
See, the thing is, I have a very, very bad internet connection, so I cannot possibly stream anything ever. So I watch streams on Twitch, and I follow quite a lot of the people on Twitch itself. So my favorite is to watch FIFA streams and Minecraft streams. So I used to watch a lot of those.
You mentioned FIFA, because that's obviously that's a massive game that even, let's say, traditionally non-gamers are playing as well, by being sports fans. Being that big a game, I'm sure FIFA has its own portals for uploading replays and videos, does it not?
So yeah, that it does make.
So how does Twitch TV beat out the game itself, but in its own game, let's say?
So let's say, like, while playing FIFA 14 or any FIFA, the game is, let's just say, it has its own quirks, and there are exploits and stuff like that, and like things like that get highlighted very well on live streams. Like, so when you see live reactions to something which the FIFA community calls AIDS, alright,
Right.
so it's very funny to watch, and the reactions you get like on Twitch when you're streaming, there's a scroll of sorts where people can comment and you can read what other people have to say about that, and it's a very interactive forum and it brings people together, and it's a lot of fun basically. Like, better than watching something on YouTube that's already been recorded. It's good to get a live reaction and
Right.
just see how people are reacting to something that's going on the screen. But yeah,
And essentially, it opens up. It can be a platform, for example, for users to upload a game that they've to stream a game that they played with their friends doing the commentary instead. So these kind of things are the things that perhaps, if Google comes in, will
I think,
fall by the way,
one
won't they?
very important point that you need to note is that this, as Ritesh said very rightly, that there are 45 million users, which are, and it's so there's number game that is there with Google, and Google really don't need numbers with where he says, okay, this is a platform for I get 45 million users. They already have the numbers. What they're looking at a passionate community which is engaged already into a platform, right? Such a engaged community can actually give you that push that they really need to get their social part back into the game.
You don't think that if they did acquire it, they wouldn't just toss it in an incubator and then just like they did with Motorola, for example, just let it sit
I don't
on
think
it for a bit
that's
and
going to
then bring
happen.
it
It's going to be very deep inside Google, and in their strategy, in their YouTube and the Google, in their social strategy, and with that they would be probably trying to get this passionate users. Passionate users are actually their main cash,
Right.
reason of putting $1 million.
What are the other alternatives to Twitch TV or anything similar to Twitch TV in terms of live game streaming?
Well, the PlayStation 4 lets you upload your stream to Ustream as well, but Twitch.tv is where you go
It is
to
the
broadcast
source.
games.
There's no
They,
other
they
choice.
had competition in the form of owned.tv,
Okay.
but that shut down. So Twitch pretty much have a monopoly on that market, and it makes sense from Google's point of view to try and acquire them because the average user will go on to YouTube, say 15-20 minutes at a go, but people who spend time on Twitch are there for an hour and a half too,
Right.
and they're engaged with the live chat and everything. So that's an audience Google would much rather
Oh, yeah.
have than, well, in addition to what they already have. And Twitch is also monetized through Twitch Media.
That's like their own partner program?
Yes, their
I
own partner
presume.
program. So I assume AdSense will replace that. And it'll allow more people to monetize their streams
Right.
than just say the few 4,000 partners that Twitch has right now.
I think they'll replace live stream and Ustream and all this streaming, function, streaming SaaS
And just
platforms.
put Twitch in as
which
the
will be coming, and they're
standalone.
live, doing a lot of streaming for the events that is happening, all over the world, which would be actually also be a part of Twitch in the near future.
Right, I wanted to move a little bit off Twitch now and into gaming in general. I remember, as I was saying earlier, this thing that gaming is not really recognized by the non-gaming community as, it's not really recognized despite generating billions and billions and selling billions and billions. I think it sells more than movie ticket sales globally now, something silly like that. So actually, who's the most? Actually, everyone's going to raise their hand if I ask who the best gamer is right now. So that's a bit of a silly question. But Ritesh, let me go with you while you're on the screen right there. Have you ever tried to teach a non-gamer how to play a game? Describe the frustration there, please, because it's happened to all of us. But just this is what the audience needs to know is that we're trying to make them play, but it's a little difficult because they won't try hard enough, perhaps.
Exactly. So with me, it's an everyday phenomenon, kind of. Whenever I talk about anything, my conversation usually just leads to games. I start talking about Counter-Strike Global Offensive, I start talking about Dota 2, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. Now imagine sitting in a group of people, and the only thing we can talk about, which you're actually confident of, is games. Whenever we talk about that, I named Dota. Okay, this just happened a few minutes ago. I said Dota Championship. I'm sorry, I'm using.
No worries.
So he said, what is Dota? I said, that's of the ancients. What? What are the ancients? Is ancients a word? I mean, for me as a gamer, I mean, you don't even know the word, the name of a game that is generating billions of dollars
Yeah.
and billions of hours spent in playtime. Even right now, I am actually on Twitch.tv right now. Even right now, there are about 44,000 people watching that game. League of Legends is second at around 42,000 views right now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a mass market industry which a mass part of the population just chooses just to ignore because they haven't got, they just are not connected enough to it. And the thing is that, have you ever tried to do that thing where you're like, hey, let's say with your girlfriend or something, have you come play GTA? It's really fun. You're telling them you can shoot things, you can fly around, you can do anything. You're explaining this great thing. You drop a 6-axis controller in their hand, and then you're expecting them, because you're trying to get them to really engage with the game and get a feel of what you're experiencing, so that they can get on board. But then they can't walk. They're running around in circles, going wee, and walking into walls and doors and whatnot. Then they just say it's too hard. Why? Why won't they just? Is there some sort of? My theory is that it's an evolutionary thing.
Yeah.
That gamers have progressed through gaming, but these guys don't realize that they're also doing it on a mobile platform, just like us playing the NES back in the day. So how do we get them to get over that? Get over that issue, the daunting controller. Walk straight.
Well, the thing is, mobile games are made to be accessible to people who might be new to the form of media, and like that, giving somebody a 6-axis controller is hard because it takes time. Like, I'm sure when consoles first came out with analog sticks, we were all like, wow, what do I do with this, right? Because we've all been used to a keyboard and mouse.
I don't know about you, I rocked, but it's gone.
So it does take time to get used to, but it's not something that's impossible.
Right.
But that also depends on how interested you are in pursuing that. So we obviously were, and we got used to it over time, and now we can probably do it blindfolded.
But, I mean, games like Call of Duty, I think Ghost was written by this fellow who wrote Traffic, Stephen Gaghan. So they're obviously spending big money and getting celebrities to come and engage in Kevin Spacey in the latest COD trailer, and actually in House of Cards.
Yeah, he's playing Call of Duty,
even though he's evil, which is great. Is this the beginning of the shift? Do you think people really need that? I know I mentioned it earlier. Do you think they really need that sort of something to, let's say, almost to associate with cool, so that they accept it as socially acceptable to game? Because that is the thing that the non-gamers say, that they have this image in their head of this kid wearing glasses with acne, sitting in a dark room by himself, no friends, etc. Did gamers need to make gaming cool to non-gamers? Because we already know it's cool because we're engaged, but how and do they, and if they need to do it, should they? How?
I think it's more of a market push problem, or it's positioning that the gaming companies are looking at, which is definitely there with the evolution of Zynga and other gaming companies who coming in, Rio with Angry Birds and all these things. Marketers, businesses are looking at the whole gamification market into a very big market that that is there to tap on. They will go on and tap it. It's going to happen.
Will they focus now on just mobile platforms purely because so many people, or are they going to try and get people to come over to? I mean, obviously they want to, because that would be a bad business strategy if you didn't get anyone on board. But when you see the point where let's say more than half the let's say more than half the people who are not playing now will get on board, how long do we?
I think there will be different genres. Play games like Counter-Strike, Dota, you would always, it can't really go more than a community, probably by 10, 15, 20%, but not more than that. There would be games coming around which is largely, casual games,
fun.
Easy games to game on. That would be probably the where the major money making market would be there.
Right. Sorry, Archishman. It's what? Oh, we've lost him. Oh, Nitansh, you're back with us. Great. Does that mean the consoles like the Wii still have a future? Because they essentially provide a more casual platform.
If you are talking about motion,
the thing with the Wii is that firstly, it was marketed very badly by Nintendo. Like, very few people even know that the Wii U is the next gen iteration of like by Nintendo at the moment in the market right now. So basically, if you put it into the same, you have to put it in the same slot as PS4 and the Xbox One. Having said that, see, the Wii U is certainly underpowered, and a lot of third-party games developers aren't willing to develop for the Wii U. So which basically leaves it with its first-party games, and that's the main selling point of the Wii U are the Mario games, the Zelda games, and
Right.
basically what Nintendo has to offer.
Right.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know, because I've never been that much into the Wii U, the
Okay.
Wii U or the Wii for that matter. Like, I've never given it that much thought because I don't like playing.
Casual games is not your thing.
Like,
He's
I
beyond
don't
it.
play on
He's migrated into the hardcore gamers world. We've lost him officially. Right, guys, I think we're running out of time here. I just want your final thoughts on Twitch TV and its possible impact if it were to be acquired by Google, and whether you're for that or not.
Well, from a business point, from Twitch and Google, it makes perfect sense. Twitch has grown way beyond their wildest dreams, and as far as I remember, there's only 80 employees running that streaming service, which 45 million users go to every month, and it'll come to a point where they can't handle it. So Google brings with them an infrastructure that can take over that. And for Google, it's a whole relatively untapped audience from their side, because that's a market they haven't been able to get into successfully streaming. So from their point of view, it makes sense, but from the users, the Twitch users, the gamers, what kind of copyright infringement problems they're going to run into, as a lot of YouTubers have had. Twitch partners will obviously be replaced by AdSense, which will let more people access the monetization feature. So it's 50-50. It has its
Is
pros
it
and cons.
yes or no for you?
Yes, to help it see survive and grow.
Yes to Google coming in.
Yes.
Yes or no for you, Google coming in, and if you have any other final thoughts beyond those.
Yeah, yes to Google coming in, definitely. For yes, positive points was there, but on some negative points, Google is, as a strategy, social is becoming the core for Google. Internally, very, very, very strongly. This is definitely a place where Google is harness this passionate users. And passionate users are, will drive the social part in the near future, which is where the market is. While it's great for Google, it's going to, going beyond the sacred community of gamers while the Twitch is being born. So it's a win-loss situation for gamers actually. While you're looking at a big infrastructure, you're looking at, more functionalities and more, feature-rich additions. You're getting out of the sacredness that you have in the gaming community.
Right. So it's a double yes. We're out of time, I'm afraid, guys, but we'd like to know what you think. Yes or no? Should Twitch be acquired by Google? Do tweet in with your thoughts at IndiaPostLive using the hashtag IndiaPostLive and hashtag RPTwitch if you're against it, obviously. That'd be interesting to see. Guys, thanks so much for joining us in the studio today. Thanks for joining us on Google Hangout and Skype as well, the rest of you. And for the rest of you, gamers and non-gamers start looking into it. They also do good stuff. Twitch raised $8 million in charity so far as well, so they're not just a greedy bunch of gamers. They're also doing some good stuff, so do check out what they're doing and what we've all been talking about. Let us know what you think, get the discussion going. It'll all be happening here on India Post Live. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.